gonna tell y'all the plans for this morning. So this morning I was gonna cook breakfast, but I'm not no more. And we had to start getting ready in literally an hour. Well, an hour. 1 hour, yep. We started getting ready in 1 hour. And I don't have an outfit because the outfit that she picked out for me doesn't fit me. So I can't wear it. So I have no clothes to wear. But I ordered something, so hopefully it comes in time. Act up, you can get smacked up. Okay.
We should have bracelets. You have bracelets?
Okay. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to Hood Alchemy Podcast. Oh my gosh.
You're really doing it.
It's been a long time. This is the first episode. Should we say season what?
3.
Season 3. This is season 3. We finally back after what, a year? Shit, more than a year.
Yeah.
But we back doing it. We're back. So yeah, we did kind of catch up in a previous vlog. We kind of caught up in the previous vlog about where we've been at and like how's life been. So if you watched the vlog portion, you would know the whirlwind.
Yeah. What we've been up to and stuff like that, you know. But we here. We back.
We here. So do we want to talk about it again? Give them more of an insight where we've been, and then talk about us from now to from COVID to now. So how are we? How is things? What changed? Our perspectives, all of that. Like we're gonna get all deep into that. So yeah, like where you been at? What you been up to?
Well, I've been going to school and working and really getting my life together. I've been on a hiatus with my brand, my business, and kind of just like really figure out what I want to do in my life. And I'm very content with what I want to pursue. So now I'm just getting back into the groove of things and starting into that realm of like, all right, entrepreneurship, what I need to do, the steps I need to take to be successful for myself, and yeah, stuff like that. So that's what I've been up to. So yeah.
Well,
what you been up to?
I recently graduated. Woo woo. I'm a master's. I'm a part of the 9% of Black women who have their master's.
Period.
That 9%. Yes, I have my master's, and I've been a full-time teacher. I've been painting as well. I've been consistent in my art. Like I at least put out a painting a month.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal, being that previously I would be on like a strong hiatus for like months. So me putting out a painting a month is a big deal for me. And I've just been chilling. I've been trying to network. I've been, I don't know, just, growing. Really. Honestly, this is like a good part of life. Even though Saturn's in retrograde, we're in that Saturn return.
Yeah.
I feel like we did a lot of healing up to this point, and now it's just
like, yeah.
It's not even healing. I feel like we was going up until this point, and now we're at the phase where it's like a light work. You know what I'm saying? Like previously it was shadow work. It was a lot of shadow work, a lot of dark times, a lot of darkness. This feels more like we're growing into the light. Like it's finally that time for us to be.
Yeah. Like soon we'll be eating the fruits of our labor. Like I think we get it now. Like the things that we experience, if we experience it again, it's like, okay, we know how to like really just navigate it better.
Yeah.
And take accountability more so, and just think about the overall situation, whatever. But I think we're just like, okay, like we chilling. We not really stressing, like, little petty stuff, light stuff, but nothing where it's like I need to like be isolated for months to figure out myself or whatever.
For real. It's. I feel like this is the lightest my life been in a long time. Like, from COVID. Starting off at COVID, let's go and dive right into it. Because I feel like COVID was our biggest transitional year. Like, it's really, COVID really defined who we are today. Like, whatever happened during COVID really explained where we are now. Like, that time really framed us to the women that we are today. So it's like it's like imperative that we talk about COVID. Like, we have to talk about COVID-19. We have to talk about COVID-19. I forgot it was COVID. It was COVID-19. Like, we got to talk about it. It really changed our lives so much. And I know a lot of other people have the same story. Like, COVID changed so many people's lives. And it really. And then we started the podcast, a year after?
Yeah,
COVID,
like 2020.
Yeah, 2021.
Oh, shit.
2020. Yeah, 2020. No, 2022. Because I was still in that studio.
Okay. 2022. So what's your experience since COVID been like? Like, what have you, like, the good, the bad, stuff like that. Like, where? So COVID was such a dark time for me. I went through so much shit that I just was like, at the time, I was just going through it. Like, I didn't really get it. I didn't get what I was going through and how deep it was until I got out of it. And then I would talk to other people about, like, all the shit I was going through during COVID. And they're just like, bitch, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, that's a lot of shit to take on. But I didn't realize it at the time. I was just, like, going. Like, I just was like, fuck it. I'm going to go outside and, like, turn up. I was trying to turn up. I was trying to link anybody and everybody. I was just outside. I was outside during COVID for real. And I was just trying to escape. Like, I was trying to, like, absorb myself in a friendship with someone and, like, absorb myself in anything and everything that I could. Yeah. I started like multiple businesses during COVID. Yeah. I started trying to tattoo. I started trying to sew. I did so much shit during COVID. I was literally just looking for a way out. I really was. Like, I was like, I can't be like this no more. Like, I can't be like this. But how did that change? Like, what steps you took to really, like, grow out of those situations? Like, because it's hard. So, like, what was that top motivation, that top point in your life where you was like, all right, I need to make a different direction.
I need to pivot.
Yeah.
Honestly, it took until 2022 for me to be like, bitch, you gotta do something different. Something gotta shake. Because during COVID, I just graduated college like 2 years prior. So 2018, I just graduated. Not even 2 years. It was like it was 2 years prior. So I just graduated college. I just got my own apartment with my sister. I'm just now like getting into the, I'm just getting into the adult life. I just got my pinky in this motherfucker. Like, I just got into this motherfucker and now we got COVID. Like, I barely was here. I just got here. So it was just like, I guess COVID gave me a chance to just live. One. So I just kind of went out, I turned up, I just lived life, and I was going through a lot of shit, but at least I took those moments to really just experience other things, and I traveled a lot during that time. So I'm like, you know what, I'm happy I didn't soak in my shit. I think in 2022 though, I started to realize, like, okay, you're having fun, like, you meeting people, but these friendships are not lasting. You're going out, but you're not having fun. You're getting drunk, but you're not feeling good after the drunkenness, and you're meeting men and they're making you feel all type of wrong. Something ain't right. I was doing whatever I wanted to do. That was a time of me, like, truly just being, and I was saying whatever I wanted to say too, which was crazy. Because I think I've calmed down that a lot more. But prior to, I really got into my bag. My throat chakra was wide the fuck open. Everybody was hearing it. Anybody could get it. Like, I just was like, I was just free. I think I just released. So, like, because I was in the situation where I was so restrained. Like, somebody always telling me how I need to be, how I need to talk, how I need to dress. And, like, I just had this person literally judging my every move. Like, and then for me to be released from that, I was like, fuck, blah, blah. Everybody get it. Like, showing ass, showing titties, all that, because Yeah, I was in a very
restricted.
Yeah, I was very restricted for years. Like what, 3 years? Almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was super restricted. And I put this person every day, and they nitpick everything I did. Like
that's so annoying.
I could have breathed, and they was like, "Oh my God, you breathing like it was like every second of the day I'm being judged based off something." So for me to finally get out of that restricting situation, I was like, oh. And that's what it was. And I also was not the best person either. Like I just got graduated. I'm not, and on top of that, I feel like I didn't know myself as a woman. I didn't know my body. I didn't know my mind. I didn't know anything. Mm-hmm. So for me to be in that situation, not knowing shit about myself and have this person tell me who I am, I'm like, damn, who am I? Like I was really confused on who I was. So it was just toxic. It was horrible. And I did toxic shit too. I was not the best person either. So I'm not going to sit up here and like make it seem like this person was just strictly horrible. I was equivalently horrible. It was probably reactive more so, but in that situation, I just decided to like be free, and I think that helped me. But I was being free in the wrong way. I just was not giving a fuck. So I think once I started to give a fuck more, in the sense of like accepting my freedom, but like giving a fuck in the same breath, it helped me just pivot. Yeah, and it made me go to college and made me become a teacher.
Just grew up and grew out of those things,
And I was just starting to realize, like, I was around people who had the idea of, like, oh, I'm not going to work, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, and I'm just going to make money. And I'm listening to them, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we can do that. Like, and I'm listening to what they're saying. This is not just one person. Multiple people at that time during COVID. I don't know if you remember. Yeah. But during COVID, everybody was an entrepreneur. Yeah. So
a lot of businesses.
Yeah. Like a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, influencers. So everybody's trying to push the narrative that you don't have to work for nobody or you don't have to work for the government, blah, blah, blah. And I believe in it. So I'm like, all right, I guess I could do that. But then as years went on and I started to realize that you do gotta work. There's just no way around it. You can sit in this situation. You could be an influencer. You could be an entrepreneur, but you can't do it without money. Yeah. You need money. So,
and that's still working for them. Like they still gotta get up. That's their income. They still gotta get up and show up to.
Yeah, like
to make their money.
Exactly. Motherfuckers thought they was gonna have money fall on their lap. Like that's when that manifestation shit was so strong. Like that whole you can manifest this. You can think it into existence. Don't get me wrong, I get manifestation to a certain extent, but like during COVID, we made it seem like you say something, it's gonna appear. Yeah, that's just not how life works. That's just not how the universe works. And I've learned that you actually have to get your ass up and work.
Talk about how was COVID?
The COVID transition for you.
Oh my God, COVID was like. It was like, I felt like I was telling her, I feel like I was in another dimension around that time. Like, girl, I just moved back from LA in like April of COVID. And I felt free, like I felt happy because everything just seemed more quiet. It was spring coming in, like New York spring, summer, best times come. So it's just like, I was like, okay, like, I like what I'm doing here. I needed this because I was going through a long distance bad breakup, and when I came back, I was just like, okay, cool, like I'm in my stomping grounds, I know how to move now. But then I ended up meeting this person, It's crazy how we was both going through like relationship shit, like gosh. Individually. Like she had her own shit, I had my own shit. It was just so much.
Your lives, I tell you, men can ruin your lives.
Yo. So I ended up meeting this person, and like long story short, like it felt like a match, but not a match. Like I was trying to force something. It was like escaping. It's basically escaping myself, like doing that shadow work. Because that was my first time really being introduced to like something so big and traumatic in my life like that, which is like heartbreak. So it was just like crazy. Then I met this person, and he was just in this toxic relationship, and like I just romanticized it the whole time, and it was just like I knew what I needed to do deep down inside. Like I kept seeing the signs, I kept seeing the messages and stuff, but I just chose to avoid it by trying to just not heal for real. Like it was scary for me. And then something happened one day, and I was just like, I need to get the fuck up and like be alone for real. And then I ended up just doing that, like really going through doing the inner work around that time. And then from then, I just transitioned to what I really wanted to do outside of a man, like outside of a guy, and being like in a relationship. Like, don't get me wrong, I love relationships. I want to be loved, but I just think that really made me realize how life still keeps going, like, you know, and
yeah,
it was just a trippy time. But
what made you decide to like pivot into a mechanic? Like, what was that defining moment where you was like, I gotta go back to school?
Yeah, I think so. I was like really intrigued how like when I because like I really like cars, but I didn't know what route to take. And then when I started to like look more into cars, like how to fix them, things like doing cool stuff, that's when I was like, all right, this is what I want to do. Like herbalism is my top tier. Like that's gonna be me forever and something I'm gonna do forever. But I'm like, I like to do other creative things, and I was like, mechanical work is something, and it was just like a release for me too. Like when I first started, like it was a release for me because I felt like I just felt more independent doing something, like not having to be like with a nigga, like, you know.
Yeah.
It just felt good to just do what I wanted to do and not be like judged for it or whatever, and just have the confidence to do it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm in the field now, working in the field, like this is cool, I'm learning every day. And then I'm like, all right, I want to go back to school for this. Like I want to like really be more invested. So yeah, that's what happened. And now I'm just chilling. Like I'm still in the field. I'm just like figuring things out, what route I want to take as far as like, because there's so many different lanes I could take with mechanical work, but I still have to invest the time into it because it's not something that you just learn overnight. So that's just where I'm at and just chilling, like, you know.
Yeah.
Living my single life. Like, I don't know. It's like I don't really like now. It's like because like even with the shadow work during COVID, I think now I'm like, okay, this feelings feel familiar to me. Like if I feel a certain trigger or something, I'm like, okay, this feels familiar, but how can I like
do something different?
Do something differently. Like, you know, I don't react to certain things no more. I don't feel deeply affected by a lot of things I was feeling like emotionally. You know?
Yeah.
I have emotions I feel, but
it's not as deep as it was during that time. Honestly,
yeah,
let's get into what made us do the podcast.
Okay, yeah. So
honestly, I think what it was like one day we were just talking like how we should get into like influencing and like being more on our shit about social media. And then we was like talking about how our conversations, like the conversations we have, like we have conversations that get so deep, especially around that time. Our conversations used to get super deep to us. At the time, I thought it was super deep, but now I'm thinking back, I'm like, bitch, you was saying a bunch of nothing. But at that time, I'm like, this is deep, bitch. You really hitting you really going places. Like this is some shit that needs to be heard. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, bitch, you was saying literally nothing. Like you were literally speaking out your fucking ass. But at that time, I thought I was saying some profound shit. I really did. So I was like, bitch, we need to start a podcast. And we started the podcast, and then during the podcast, I will have to say we were a little bit more immature on the topics that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And we were trying to talk about heavy topics, but we took a very immature route of having those conversations. So it was just like, okay, we started the podcast, we're gonna put it out. And then we were inconsistent as fuck.
Yeah.
Like very inconsistent. Almost like the podcast was over.
Yeah.
And we would invest, like I invested so much money into like different things for the podcast, but we was just inconsistent.
And it has so much potential. Like this podcast has so much potential.
People fucked with it heavy.
Yeah.
We had actual people who literally would reach out to us and like, I fucked with this episode. Like we had people
who related a lot.
Yeah, and who supported us.
Yeah.
And we just was like,
all right, like I see y'all. Hey,
and we left.
Can we just do? No offense to the people, but we kind of just like
it was more so just a scheduling thing and just like when we gonna do it, what time we gonna do it. of course, we got to come to my crib. So it's just like, okay, are you coming to my crib? And then we'll be like, let's do it before we go out. But then we are lollygagging. So we're lollygagging prior to going out. And then we're like, look, we can't do the podcast because if we do the podcast, we can't go out.
It's gonna set us back even more. Like,
so it's like, even today, we damn near couldn't do it today. But we just push forward. We're just going to be late to the functions, like whatever. It's a fucking block party.
Yeah, like we could prioritize. Like, you know, every time we go out, we could prioritize this.
Yeah, we could prioritize this. Like, even if we late to the function, it's over when we get there. It's whatever.
Yeah,
but we we made sure we put that effort in, and we did it. But I feel like we are more mature in the sense of consistency.
Yeah.
I think that we're able to put this as a priority, especially now.
Yeah.
Because we see the importance in it. Like, now we understand, like, I don't think we fully understood what we were doing. Like, we would talk about it, but I don't think we fully grasped, like, how important, like, this podcast can be to so many people. Like, it's two dark-skinned women from the hood talking about real life shit. And, like, really talking about how could we, elevate from that. And we're actually doing the work, as y'all can see. Like, we're changing our lives every day from what we grew up from to now. Like, we're literally examples of what our podcast represents. Like, we're literally the perfect representation of our podcast. Like, we're literally hood alchemized.
Yeah, like this is what we really do. Like, we be in the hood every day. I be chilling, thinking about Earth.
Even if you, like, even from that, like, you actually grew from that. Like, you're not just in the hood chilling. Like, you're going to work, you're going to school, you're doing what you need to do. And that's hood alchemized. Like, that's you deciding, like, okay, I grew up in this environment.
There's nothing really for me. Like,
it doesn't define me.
Yeah, it doesn't define me. Like, I love my hood, don't get me wrong. Like, I love my hood, but I think, like, I feel like I've seen so many people in my environment that just, like, have the similar mindset of, like, just settling for that environment. And that's cool. Like, that's their lives. That's them, But it's just, like, I just know I could go far and still come back to the hood comfortably and be chilling, I don't want to just be in the hood and let that just be my life, like, everyday life. Like, I don't want that. I want to
I feel like growing up, like, I would see people in my neighborhood, and they not, like, those same people are, like, drug addicts or baby mamas or working security, the same security job they've been working for years, or like, they didn't really push for nothing else. And I just think that not only was I privileged enough to see my older sisters push for more, I decided to go out there on my own and push for more. And like, this is important. What we are doing is very important, especially when it comes to representation. Most podcasts we see, or people who host podcasts that's well known, is never two young dark-skinned women. Like, that's a big deal for us to do that and do this and, like, represent those little girls who don't get to see, this. Like, they don't get to. We're not the Eurocentric form of dark skin. We're like the Afrocentric, actual blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, it don't get no blacker than this. Yeah. So I think this is important. Like, what we're doing for representation, for just
being us, and, like,
it's important. Us being around, us being in the field, us being in the scene, all that. We're important. Like, us being seen, we have to be seen, because I think that we do need to push for more representation of girls like us out into society, so people can see there is regular black girls who make it. We're gonna continue. We got more coming, and we want to go back into the other topics we talked about and give you guys a different point of view of it from, that time to now. Like, we want to speak on those topics and change up the narrative a little bit.
I ain't gonna lie, some of it was true though.
It was true, but we gotta change up. We gotta grow from it. Like, we can't sit in that shit.
No, we can't. Yeah, nah.
So come back every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. We're not even gonna promise y'all every week, because that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a lot to do.
But every 2 weeks, we are going to shoot an episode, and we're gonna put it out every 2 weeks. So come back for the next episode in 2 weeks. And tell me what you guys think of the vlog style.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was inspired by B. Simone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I think that's cute. So we're going to do the same thing where we're just going to like vlog in the beginning and then go straight into the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me what y'all think of that. Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Follow us on Instagram, Hood Alchemy Pod. Is it podcast or pod? Hood Alchemy Pod or podcast at Instagram. And email us if y'all want to ask us questions. Email us.
Email us if you want to collaborate.
Yeah, collaborate.
We would love more guests. We do want to have guests here.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely want to do more guests this episode.
Yeah,
this season. This season, we definitely want more representation for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Hey guys. Look at us.
Tell me how you coming right now.